There we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. To this very unique stream. So, of course, still starting up. Uh, how's everyone doing today? Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna take some time to get started and just slowly start up. So, I mean, this is, highly experimental stream. I don't know how many people will actually be interested in watching this. I understand if they're not. It's a very specific topic as well. So essentially, the way the stream is gonna work is well, I'm gonna go over some of my well, we're gonna talk some D&D. Gonna go over some of my theme builds, I call them. Essentially, builds I based off of like either a character or a theme, which I call them theme builds. And I also have a homebrew rogue subclass I made, and I talked a little bit about on Twitter like a week or so ago. That's based off The Witcher, though I have tried to put my own spin on it. But yeah, and I will also happily answer D&D related questions on from anyone who wants to ask anything. Again, I am of course a big D&D nerd. I'm knowledgeable, but I would not call myself an expert. So there's definitely there's definitely gaps in my knowledge, but uh, I still do know quite a bit. So, oh, is Fi also doing D&D stuff? Well, talk about timing. Ah, is he now? Hmm. Yeah. So it seems. Uh, uh, but talk about the. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a good, calm day so far. I've done some prep work for the stream, so I'd have things lined up properly. But how are you today, Saucy? Oh, that's good to hear, and I hope your day is a calm, relaxing day then, and the day treats you well because it's still pretty early for you guys, right? I'm still pretty bad with time zones. Hmm. Oh no. That's good to hear, and thank you. Ah, noon. Oh god, yeah. I figured out Senri's time zone somewhat. It's still a fucking mess trying to keep it straight. I just gonna keep an eye on my fellow fox friend in the background. Just do make a note to Fi if he does need help. I am, in a way, kind of available since I'm also doing these D&D stuff over here. But of course I have D&D Beyond open here, and I see. Interesting. So that's what he's doing. Hmm. Well, he is the noob, so I do hope that goes well for him. No, did not mean to do that. No. No ye for experience right now. Yes. But let it be known to my friend the noob that I am willing to aid all those in need when it comes to D&D, because hey, it's one of those few cases where I am actually quite knowledgeable. But yes, I've D&D Beyond open here, so I can easily access things if needed. Like since I do own a lot of things on D&D Beyond, like I have the Player's Handbook, I have Dungeon Master's Guide, I have most of the books, and if I don't have the books, I have at least the most important parts from them, which is character options like spells, background, feats, classes, subclasses, races, and everything. Because I don't have everything, but I do have a lot. So if something needs to be looked up, I can easily. Oh, hi, Huffle. How are you doing today? Alright, everyone, we're taking a slight detour. So a slight detour, everyone. And good to hear that you're doing better, Huffle. So hold on, I'm just gonna mute and I'm coming, bro.
Food? Food's in the way right now.
You need help, bro.
Yes, help.
Oh, okay.
What is all this stuff? So, here, let me do this. Let me grab the stream over here. Let me slap this on the side here, and then we're gonna grab this one. Because I have technically two that I need to look at.
Alright.
There's your stream.
Yeah.
I'm like also like I was like panicking this whole time. Like I've only opened one person's up and it was like before I was even like sitting at my computer. Okay, there we go. All good, 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 good.
Alright. So, you're making a
No,
character for a
fast.
one-shot.
Yeah. Poison, the monster, just threw me at level 20 and said have fun.
Oh
I'm just kidding.
boy!
She she gave me some stuff to work on, but I'm like, so I'm a hobgoblin, Oath of Vengeance paladin.
Alright.
I got the rolls. We did the rolls and I put those in the right spot. I got that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
first of all, I just want to say, holy shit, that's some good stats.
Thank you. I did the hobgoblins get a bonus to charisma and then a 2 to charisma and then 1 to int. So that's why charisma is so high.
Hmm.
I think it was what was the rolls? The rolls were I got 17, 16, 15, 13, 13, 12.
Right, I mean, let's start with which version of the Hobgoblin are you using?
Humanoid hobgoblinoid.
Uh, no, because
I,
there's this one which,
the only thing I saw for hobgoblin sub. Oh, okay, you're on a bigger thingy. Yeah,
yeah,
that one. The ones that are red.
yeah, I mean, both are red, but so let's start
Oh
with uh,
no, the bigger red one.
so this is the original version of Hobgoblin released in the book Vol's Guide to Monsters back in 2016. But
Okay, yeah. This is the one that Poison sent me, and so
yeah,
this is the one that I'm using.
so
Because
+2 to con, +1 to int, and dark vision, martial training, and saving face. And
yeah, Sazi helped me and get those in there.
all right, that's great. And so paladin. I mean, first of all, the fact you're starting at level 20, there's a lot there.
I'm just go. I hit them. Anything else? I hit them the second time. You can't do. I throw. You can't do. Oh. Come on, you're level 20. You could do this, this, and this. I don't know.
I mean, you're level 20, so you can at least attack twice in one turn.
Oh, right here. Yeah. Level 5th.
Yeah, extra
Level
attack.
5th. What? What is level 5th?
5th level.
I
And
don't like this wording.
Then the other thing the main thing paladins can do that you want to be able to keep track of is the divine smite. It's a
Divines.
very basic ability. Whenever you hit with an attack, you can expend one of your spell slots and just deal an additional number of dice of radiant damage.
Ooh. So do I need to put all these in here because I'm 20?
Yes.
Oh no.
That's the problem starting someone off at level 20. You have a lot of shit that you need to keep track of.
And then also same thing with the Oath of Vengeance. Do I
Oh,
put, also just put all these in there?
yeah, all the Oath Vengeance abilities as well. You did? Oath of Vengeance is a fun subclass though, so
Yeah. When she asked me, she's like, "Oh, what kind of oh, like what's proficiencies did you want?" And she's like, "Do you want to be able to be? It's like, do you want to see in the dark and everything, blah blah?" And I was like, "I want to be vengeance because nothing blinds vengeance other than vengeance."
uh you're Batman.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll just start with the normal. So for paladin, divine sense, and lay on hands, where do I put those? Is that in attack and spellcasting?
Nope. You essentially put them in on the side there with the like dark vision and the saving face and everything is put in.
Ah, okay. So divine sense, source,
Uh,
class,
yep,
source type, paladin.
yep. And then
No.
you can just scroll down to
Oh, there it is. Okay, you just scroll down a little bit.
yep, and like copy it over.
I can read.
Yep. And I mean, this is the most effective way of doing it as well. Unless you own like all the books in Roll 20, but who does that?
Lay on hands.
Yep.
Lay on hands. Do I just touch them with my hand
Yep. And
and go there?
you do need to keep track of how many points you have in your lay on hands because you have a number of points equal to your paladin level times 5.
Oh, let me open this back up. Okay. Okay, your paladin. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep.
You bless. Can yeah. So I choose how much I'm healing
Yeah,
with lay on
exactly.
hand.
Instead of rolling,
Oh, okay.
it's. Yep. Thank you for the Kitsu Care Senri, sorry. And yeah, that's fair, Sazi.
Oh God, what is this?
I've I've not played Paladin a lot, but
Fighting style? What? Wait, do I choose a fighting style?
oh yes, you choose a fighting style
Oh
from.
God damn it! Oh wait, why aren't you in? Oh, have we not played together since I switched up the way I do this now?
Apparently not.
Oh my gosh, why do I keep doing that? Every time I tap out Worsey for you, it's capital W and capital E. Yeah. Oh, so tiny. No. Yeah. Where's he? There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, I made. Okay, so I just made myself massive. Got it. Oh, I am massive. What the hell did I do? Why am I so big?
Are you using me to censor something?
No, 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 no. No, I just realized I was like, oh my gosh, my character's so like I just realized how big I made my character for no reason. There we go. So then, oh there, yeah, sensor. We have you. We have your tail sensor
Ah,
sunk
yes, of course.
below. Perfect. Okay. Oh my god, what? Okay, so style.
Yep.
Class. While you're wearing armor, ooh, I could do defense.
Yeah, defense is a pretty decent one. Most of the other ones are very like, yes, like specific to certain things like protection. You must be wielding a shield. Great weapon fighting. You need to wield a two-handed weapon. Dueling, it's a one-handed weapon.
Mm.
But defense is the one that's all around pretty good.
And since we're basic in here right now, so we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's
Let's
that's fair.
keep it as simple and less spells that I need to worry about.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, one of
Spell cast.
I'm currently playing a paladin in another campaign, and yeah, I have that as my fighting style because yeah, it's just solid. It's pretty good.
Wait, do I put this whole thing as spell casting?
Yep.
All the way down to just right up above Divine Smite?
Yep.
Okay. Heh. Okay. Ah.
So spell casting. As a paladin, you have the benefit and something that's going to be to your detriment of preparing spells.
To preparing.
Essentially, what you do is after a long rest, you can prepare a number of spells equal to your charisma modifier plus half your paladin level from the paladin spell list, and those are the spells you can cast that day.
Oh, okay, so I can only cast once of each spell a day?
No, there's you have a number of spell slots.
Oh, just from me in general.
Yep. This is just like the amount of spells. Like these are the spells you can cast that day, and then you have the spell slots to use to cast those spells.
Hmm.
Don't worry, this is not Pathfinder or 3.5, where that is actually how it worked. If you want to use a spell multiple times, you need to prepare it multiple times.
Mhm.
Oh god. Yes, Henry, what's oh, you're asking me what Lionel's favorite color is. Sorry. I actually need to double check that. I thought you were
When
making
you
a
reach
joke.
your level, you swear your oath that binds you to the paladin. Up to this time, you have been at stage. Get sworn with your choice of the third level, and again, these features include oath spells and
There we go.
channel divinity.
Ah, yes.
So,
Oh, just real quick.
so I
Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to like also I read it and understand. Like
Yeah.
good.
Also, Henry, Lionel's favorite color is sea green.
Like seaweed.
Kind of.
Okay.
But
So for this one right here, because the sacred oath, do I just put oath of vengeance?
yep.
Okay. So name is oath of vengeance, class paladin, and then
Yep.
wait. Then I get all. Do I put all these into this one?
You can put them in like separate ones.
Oh god damn it!
Because there's a
Game,
lot.
stop it.
Now, also, as part of your divine oath, you get oath spells, which are
Oh,
spells that are always prepared. Oh, oh no, those you don't have to put in like
oh,
the tenants. My mistake. You don't have to put those in.
oh, those are just okay. So those are just e
Yeah.
e.
Oh, fair enough. Again,
Oh, I see. It's just saying the way that they are. Oh,
yep,
okay.
exactly. Uh, and yes, sea green is very pretty. Why did you think I chose it as the eye color for Percy? Oh,
When you do. Using your channel and choosing one of the 60. This creature must take a wisdom save. Not a wisdom saving throw.
yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw.
Damn it. Okay, so channel divinity. Class paladin. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's just this one, but I get to choose these two.
Yeah, you get one use of Channel Divinity, but you can only you get one use per day, and you got to pick which one you want to use it as.
Okay, got it. Okay, now. Wait, why do I see Relentless Avenger yet? I don't see it up there. Ooh.
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, because the one that I'm looking at, it shows the channel of divinity where it shows the abjure enemy and then also vow of enmity.
Enmity? Yep.
But then after that, after the channel divinity, then there's the relentless avenger, soul of vengeance, and avenging angel.
Yep, those are like separate class abilities outside of your Channel Divinity.
Oh,
Or separate.
outside of the channel.
Yeah, they're not. Using your
Okay.
Channel Divinity, they're separate abilities.
Can I just go back to the tavern and drink at this point?
It could be worse, Fi. You could be making a cleric.
I've heard clerics are the most painful to play.
Oh, there, there is so much you would need to keep track of at level 20.
But I would understand it. Right now, I'm confused and scared. Hopefully, you're not ugly.
Yeah,
Listen here.
I agree. Hopefully, you're not ugly. No, you're not. And understandable. I like bards too. They're fun.
Dang, she's joining back. She's going back and forth. She's trying to confuse us.
Yes.
Um, okay. I have all those now. Do I need to click into each one of these? Bane, Hunter's Mark, Hold Person, Misty Step, and then be able to copy those ones? Because I don't see their.
They're gonna go into if you scroll up on the character sheet
Oh, uh huh,
a bit further,
uh huh.
even more to the top of it. There's that nice little tab there to the
Uh,
side. Spells. Nope.
actually, no.
Go back. There's core bio spells there above personality traits.
Personality traits. Personality traits. Oh, right here. Oh, okay. Core bios. Oh, God.
Yep. And here
I
is
just
where
heard
you put
Sazi
in.
giggle again.
Here's where you're gonna put in your spells.
Uh,
And here also shows how many spell slots you have of each level per day.
I just see numbers. What the fuck am I supposed to do with numbers?
This is a numbers game, man.
Huffle, no throwing spray bottle. You're supposed to spray with the spray bottle, not throw it.
Ooh
That
woo.
just hurts.
And hi Ostrich, yes, there is D&D going on here. I'm currently helping Fi-Fi here build a level 20 paladin for a one-shot.
And it's also my first time.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes, he's the
Eh.
big noob, and one of our other friends decided, ah yes, level 20 paladin.
No, I chose Paladin. I said, what is there? And she's like, we need either a tank or a healer. She goes, but I don't advise the cleric. I was like, okay, I'll go tank. And she goes, which ones do you want? And I was like, let's go Paladin.
Oh god.
Because I was like, I want to be a mage tank. That's what I think I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
she was like, oh, that's probably the closest thing you could do.
Kind of, but yeah, fair.
You know
So,
what? I'm suffering either way at this point.
yes.
There's no going back.
So yes, this is a small little side thing before un unplanned, but yeah, there's Eldritch Knight, which is a subclass of fighter, which allows you to cast spells. But so
Wait, so
oh,
how do we
sorry.
do? No, you're okay. You're okay. We're.
Uh,
I'm just half panicking.
I mean, so would I if I got dropped into a level 21 shot.
Is this it? Is this the button I choose?
Uh, in fair, saucy. Barbs are fun as well.
Did I click the right button?
Yes,
Okay, so edit this one. So name, Bane, school. Uh,
it's an enchantment spell. Oh, you have it. You're currently listing it as a third level spell. It's a first level spell.
I just see the three. I was like, I guess I'll go here.
Nope.
Okay, so it's a first level. So oh, so this is level one, level two, level three.
Yep.
Uh,
And
okay,
then
so
after that,
Bane.
the second number is how many spell slots of that you have each day.
Since enchantment, you said casting time is one. It says one. Action range is 30 feet. Target.
I know, right, Osric? Uh, baptism by fire. Hmm.
What's target? Is target just components? A drop of blood? Oh no, that's not it.
Oh, target is you don't really have to fill that in.
Oh, okay. Drop of blood. Concentration. Checkbox. 1 minute.
Yep. And
Spell casting ability.
that is uh if you click that like a list will pop out
Hmm.
and pick spell because at the top you have as you
Uh,
clicked in a paladin, it's already listed as charisma, so you just click spell.
oh, so just click spell.
Yep.
Okay.
So that will handle it automatically.
Innate.
Nope. It's not innate, so
Output.
it's you can either have something output as a spell card, which is would be best for this, or as an attack. And you don't have to bother with any as a, like attack since you're playing, or well, mostly since there's like maybe one or two,
Oh,
but for most of them, just as
eh,
spell card works. Uh,
class. Spell lists. Barb and click. What
oh, that at
is
the
it?
end is just like, oh, this is just the spell list. This spell is normally on. You don't have to worry about that.
I don't need to worry about class or type.
Nope,
Or
nope, you do not.
oh, okay.
And then
Because
you
that
can,
yeah, that was it.
yep, done. And you can also click it in there at the top, in that circle,
Ah.
because as it is a one of your oath spells, it is always prepared. And clicking in that
Ah.
little circle next to its name means you have it prepared.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
Now,
Wait, how do you
one
shrink
thing
in?
you're also gonna have to worry about here. Hold on, just
How do you?
thank you for the posture check, Huffle, and the hydrate. Oh my God, Osric, no, that sounds awful.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 is one of the previous editions of D&D, and it is much worse than 5e. It is much more number heavy
Mm. School.
and more complicated. So be glad it's 5e and not 3.5, because that might scare you away.
Where is
Yep, I would imagine.
What is the school for Hunter's Mark? Where do you see school?
Oh, it's a divination spell. It's right above casting time. It's first level divination.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Casting time 1, bonus action, range is
Yeah.
20 feet. Target doesn't have. Component is just V. What's that? What's components VSM?
Oh, it's verbal, which is saying an incantation. Somatic,
Uh,
which is like doing hand signs or doing something with your hands as part of casting the spell. And M is material, like an item you might need. Certain spells have materials that cost money. Some have material that are consumed by the spell,
mm,
and those are going to be important to keep track of because, well, any spell that has a material component that doesn't list a price or isn't consumed, you can just you don't need to have like specifically. If it has a price or is consumed by the spell, you need to specifically have that item.
okay. It sounds like I'm not easily distracted.
uh,
I guess we'll same output spell card,
yeah,
and then spell. Oh, spell cat. Is it spell?
yeah, just
Because
put spell.
okay. What do I see for it to say if it's a spell or any of that stuff? Because that's also what I was curious of. Like, how do I know what I'm looking at? Or for like spell casting ability, like how would I know that?
Oh, if you, I mean, if you scroll up on the character sheet,
Uh huh.
spell casting ability, charisma, spell save DC 17, spell attack modifier 9.
Oh, okay, so you're it's just saying that I'm going up there unless I
Yeah,
get some bonus unique thing,
yeah, exactly.
or like I'm building my own personal character
Yeah.
in a sense. I think I've heard like some people can do that where they just build their own. Okay. Oh wait, it said that was third. Paladin level third.
Yeah, that's
Should I have so
the
was
level you get that, but it's still a first level spell.
oh okay. So so then hold a person. Oh okay then.
Yeah. Now, one thing you're gonna need to keep track of because a lot of spells that paladins get, especially now looking at these spells you get here, have that concentration bit.
How am I supposed to concentrate when I'm in the front line? Damn it.
Essentially, the way it works is when you cast a concentration spell, concentration starts, and you need to maintain that concentration. If you take damage, you're gonna need to make a concentration check. And if you fail that check, the concentration drops and the spell drops.
Mm.
And you can also not cast any other concentration spells while concentrating on a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do, the first spell drops and the new spell will be what you're concentrating on instead.
Okay. Oh, and then you said I turn these red, right?
Yep, because these are your oath spells. You always have them prepared.
Misty Step.
Yeah, yes, that's a
Oh,
fun spell. Little teleportation.
hell yeah. I'm just gonna magically teleport into the girls' locker. I mean,
Oh my. Uh, so for yeah, I actually did not know that the Oath of Vengeance gets haste. By the way, Fi, that's a really good spell.
yeah. I'm gonna be just like the skeleton knight guy from that anime that Saucy and I watched. I'm gonna teleport everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I just. Oh, oh wait, duration. Instantaneous. Ooh, and I can teleport instantly.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So I could cast something, or I could do like a concentrate to hit someone with something or whatever, and then I can teleport in because there's a bonus. Ah,
Yep. But there is also a limit that you can't cast a spell with a spell slot as an action and then cast one with a spell slot as a bonus action. It's either or.
okay. There's no other thing. Okay.
But yeah, for anyone who's just coming in, I this is a little side adventure. I'm teaching my friend Fi here how to build a paladin.
I'm scared.
Yep, and small little fun
Haste.
thing before I go off on my theme builds and homebrew subclass and whatever. Oh God.
Well, I. This thing wants me to give other people haste. No, no. I'm the one with the haste.
Fair.
Components.
Ah yes.
What?
Yeah, you
A
need.
shaving of licorice root?
Yes.
Shit, damn it, I should have bought some licorice before I left the grocery store yesterday.
Same.
Uh, concentration up to 1 minute.
Yes,
Uh,
the proper haste initiation. Yeah, like
oh, the soul just one.
how how Fireball has sulfur and bat poop as material component, or yeah, like copper coin for detect thoughts.
Just okay. There's a disadvantage for it
Yep,
as well.
it's really good, but it has that small little caveat.
Okay, protection from energy is also a
Yeah,
third level. Meh. Whoops. What is it? Abjurate. Abjuration?
yep. Abjuration is all about protection and banishment.
Mm.
Also negation. So be careful when it comes to wizards.
Be careful when it comes to wizards.
Yeah, because wizards, and well, some other casters will, but gets this fun little spell called Counterspell, where they can essentially see
Ah,
you casting a spell, say, nah.
what do you mean he's learning?
He's learning. I think he gets it.
This Huffle spray balled me. I did nothing wrong. What she typed in my chat is wrong. She said that she sprays bottles me because I was talking about girls' locker rooms.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted to teleport into the girls' locker room.
No, 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 no. I was saying I was watching out for the girls around. I'm trying to protect. That's how I was teleporting around to protect any peeping toms. God,
Hmm.
I'm a
Sure.
paladin, remember? I'm a
Yeah.
paladin for vengeance. I'm here to. He started to. I am not believing anything. I'm worried.
Yes, he's believing.
Ooh, banishment. Huffle, look, I got a spell for you.
Yes, banishment. That's also a really good spell. Because if you're fighting something from a different plane of existence, you can just tell them to go home.
On action range is 60 feet. Distasteful to the target.
Yes.
Huffle, look, it's peanut M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms are so good, though.
I know they're not her favorite though, so that's why I was making the joke of saying peanut M&Ms.
Okay, so with that said, I think I'm gonna say something that Huffle is gonna dislike. I think peanut M&Ms are far superior than standard M&Ms.
Same. I peanut M&Ms are my favorite.
Oh,
Delisted.
100%.
Saucy Fi is being mean. No, me being mean. Bullshit. I mean,
Fair.
Bohongi.
That's fair, Huffle.
Okay, so send another person. So because I'm also trying to learn these, but also trying to type these quick.
Yep.
Dimension door.
That's also
I'm like the guy.
teleportation.
What? Oh, it's the door fruit. Sorry, I think I'm like the only one here that's watched One Piece.
I
There's
would,
a
but it's just the fact that it's so much at this point scares me.
yeah, that's fine. There's a guy who has the whole like all of them have they call them double fruit. So
Yep. Oh, that I know.
uh,
I
yeah,
watched
okay.
like 5 episodes.
Cassie take 500 feet. Go down. Um. Oh, whoops. Casting time is one action. But yeah, so one of the enemies later on has one called the door fruit.
hmm
So he can open. Basically, he steps into this like otherworldly area that's like his own like little domain. But every time it's like him opening a door. It looks like he's opening a door, and then he can close the doors, and then it disappears.
Hmm.
And so he could teleport like great distance, and then like he can open up a door, have people come in with him, so long as he has the door open, and then he can close the door. But he can make doors from anywhere. He can even like put his back to a wall, and then he just makes his back the entire wall, so that he just falls through the, or like he makes it look like a door opens from the wall, and then he can quickly close it before anyone can get him. So
Hmm. That almost. I almost thought you were gonna go a different way there. That I could make a joke about. I think it's a DC character. No, it's a Marvel character who's like fuck, I forgot his name. It's like Johnny the Door or something. Oh wait, no, it's Doorman. Essentially, his body is like a portal, and if he stands up to like a wall and you go through his body, you end up on the other side of that wall.
Mm. I mean, he could technically do that. He does technically do that too. He can. It's just up to him how he wants to do that.
Oh,
So he can just literally touch a wall, or like that's how it is. If he puts his back onto the wall, he makes the wall into a door of his body.
hmm.
That's what it is. Or he can make a door come out of thin air, and that's where he does the whole teleports into another dimension,
I
or
see.
his own little thingy. But there was a point where he made it to where like he was pulling someone down into the ground by opening a door under them, and then he like makes it to where the door closes, so then they're like stuck. Okay, last two. Holding monster.
Yep.
Is holding monster? I just give them a hug.
Hold Monster is like a buffed version of Hold Person because Hold Person only works on humanoid targets, while Hold Monsters can essentially work on anything.
Mm. Oh, I see right there. Another a small straight. piece of iron. Okay, so this parting. Concentration up to 1 minute. Spell. Oh yeah, and blue. No, yeah. I say other people haven't seen One Piece, so they don't know the characters' names. Okay, so that's all of those.
Yeah. And it's scrying as well. There's one last spell.
Oh, damn it! You're right.
And here you can see an example of a spell that has a
Deviate. Divination. Divination.
yeah. And here you can see an example of a spell that has a costly material component. A focus worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
What? My money.
Yep. Don't worry. At least this one doesn't consume the component, so you wouldn't have to endlessly replace it.
Ah. Hmm. Do I? Oh my goodness! Do I need to add all? Should I add all this?
Yep,
Okay, so
because it's all
yeah.
part of the spell. Yep, Senri is right. Magic can be expensive. Don't worry, Fi. At least you're not playing as the healer. Because,
I technically am because it says the best thing for paladins is to also use healing abilities.
yep, you get some healing abilities as well. And healing spells, but
Oh, I just realized I barely hit that one, and now I had to go past, and now I need to start doing. Wait, harness divine power.
that's an optional
That.
ability.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, or like the resurrection spells, like Revivify, costs has a material component of a diamond worth 300 GP, which spell consumes. Or Raise Dead, which has the component of a diamond worth at least 500 GP, which the spell consumes.
I'm a healer, but character.
Or I think, yeah, Resurrection, a diamond worth at least 1,000 GP, which the spell consumes. And I think True Resurrection, which is a 9th level spell. A sprinkle of holy water and diamonds worth at least 25,000 GP, which the spell consumes.
I want someone to truly become back to life.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking
Gimme.
cost you. Hey, life is expensive.
It'd just be the greatest thing too. It's just like you're going through life, and then you just choose all those reviving spells. It's like, why do you keep choosing these? Don't worry about it. And then by the time you get to the ninth one, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna just set up shop for whenever people want me to res people. I'm no longer going on these adventures.
Yep, and yeah, I feel like you have a point there, Osric. At some point, just all of them just, I'm a healer, but
Okay, so I guess now I just go back into ability score improvement, which or this it goes back into me going into features and traits, or
yep. I mean, ability score improvements is not necessarily something you have to put down. If you can if you want, but ability score improvements is where things
yeah,
also can become very complicated.
Okay, yeah, that's all I was just trying to make sure. I'm like, I know, am I needing to add all this other stuff?
Uh, oh shit.
Because that's abilities, yeah. Because I see these here at the 8th. There's
Yep, yeah, you get ability score improvements around like every 4 levels. And I mean, depending on you can also okay, now this is gonna get into where things can get very complicated.
What do you mean things can? You mean things have?
You can forego an ability score improvement to instead pick up a feat.
Hmm. Wait, where does it say that?
It's not in that website, but let me actually pull it up on my stream since I do have. It's
That's it. We need to yell at Poison. I need Poison in here now.
uh, here we go. If you're looking at my stream, at certain levels, your class gives you the ability score improvement feature. Using the optional feats rule, you can forego taking that feature to take a feat of your choice instead. No, if Poison is the one GMing, I don't know her views on using that optional rule. Since it's one of those things. Yeah, it's technically an optional rule, but it's an optional rule a lot of people use.
Hmm. Well, so what score? So ability score improvement. All I'm doing really is just because it's at 1, 2, 3, 4 different levels to
Should be.
increase an ability, which is it the abilities or no? These aren't abilities, or the things on the left side, right? Are
Yep.
those abilities?
Your ability score are your strength, charisma, dex. That's all your ability scores.
Hmm.
And
So I could
yep,
go to 19, 19, and 20.
yep. And also would like to point out that it's 5 times instead, not 4, because it's fourth, 8th, 12th, 16, and 19.
Yeah, because it says you can choose one ability score of your choice by 2,
Or
or you can increase 2 ability scores by 1.
yep,
Because I could. Oh, so that would be 2, 4, 6. So it's total of 8 points. So 3,
yep,
6, 7. Oh, so I could do 20, 20, 18. That's not that bad.
yeah. That's pretty good.
Okay, fine. I got it there. See, I'm
Yeah,
smart.
he's
Oh,
learning,
now everyone.
everyone.
I was gonna say now everyone can spam that.
I knew it was doable to teach this noob.
Hey, 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 hey.
Yes.
Okay, so then I'll just type 20, 20, and 18. Okay. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants the ability score improvement, you can replace a fighting style you know with it. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, no.
Yep.
We're not. No. I'm like, I'm already at level 20. I don't think I need to question, am I going to be changing?
Exactly. Extra attack. That's a where things get fun.
So, because I'm a paladin, does that make it to where I can technically, with that extra attack, it's just whenever you take the attack action on your turn, does it? Oh, so I can do another
Yep.
action. So is it just another attack action? So I like.
It it's not that you're taking another action. It's still the same action, but whenever you're taking the attack action, you get the ability to attack twice in that one action.
Okay, so would I be able to do like a sword swing and be like, oh, I'm surrounded by people, sword swing, teleport, the instant teleport one? Or
The
is it only has to be like a hit and then maybe, another swing?
like like Sorry, I just trying to figure out how the word is. So you can definitely, like with the Misty Step spell, which is a bonus action, you can attack once, teleport with your bonus action, then attack again.
Oh.
Thankfully, it's
Oh,
not.
because the teleport is a
It's a bonus action.
Misty Steps?
Yep, Misty
Or
Step.
oh, it is a bonus.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. So and I was still throwing in, so I could attack something that's right next to me, teleport to a friend that's in danger, supposedly.
Yeah, and attack whatever's attacking them.
Okay.
And
Dang.
yes, Twilight the
I
Main
should have.
Cleric is very fun.
Oh, I should be a paladin monk. I just have heavy ass armor that I just keep throwing my armor pieces at people.
The problem is,
Monks lose out on
yeah,
stats when they have armor.
yeah, they lose out on a lot of abilities while wearing armor. Plus, actually, just scroll up a bit on your character sheet so I can see your stats or
Yeah,
ability
let
score.
me.
Yep.
There.
Because it's oh yeah, you could theoretically multiclass into monk because the minimum requirement to multiclass into any class is like a 13 in specific ability scores.
Mm,
For example,
that's right.
multiclassing into monk would be you would need 13 in both dexterity and wisdom.
Ooh. Like those kids in all those movies where they just slide past the passing score.
Yes. You're just barely making
You're
it.
whenever you hit a creature with a melee, the creature takes an additional. Ooh. I need help, but I could hit this one that's right next to me with an additional divine smite.
Yep.
Why help you when I can help myself? I'm just kidding. I'm a paladin of vengeance. They hit me first. I have to hit them. You don't
Yep.
understand. Cleansing touch. You can use your action to end one spell on yourself and on one willing creature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of once. You regain expended uses when you finish with a long rest. Oh.
Oh god.
The temptation.
Uh.
Quick, are we done? Are we done? Are we done? Oh, god damn it. I don't have water next to me. I've been trying to get through this as quickly as possible.
Fair.
Uh, okay, so I'll go drink water here in a second. So I got. Wait, did I grab everything?
I don't think you put in everything for your for Oath of Vengeance, did you?
Yeah, I did the. I went all the way up to scrying.
Yeah, but did you put in the other abilities?
Oh, these three. God damn it.
Yep, like Relentless Avenger, Soul of Vengeance, Avenging Angel.
You made me go drink water. Fine. They're getting more time to plot.
Oh my god. Oh god. Yep.
All right, my water still has stuff in it, so I don't need to fill it up yet.
Alright.
Got it.
Good.
Okay, so I go back to spells, right? For these Relentless Avenger.
No, those are not spells, those are class abilities.
Oh, okay. So back to traits and features.
Yep.
Paladin. Your supernatural focus helps you close off a foe's retreat. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, you can move up to half the speed immediately after the attack as part of the same action. Oh, so I can kind of move around. It helps me be able to move as well. Yeah, ducks. Sorry, someone wanted me to say ducks really bad.
And oh god.
Also, anyone who's in my chat right now, I'm not seeing it right now. I am like, Here, let me go back. Let me open mine back up just to see.
Uh,
Oh, God damn, Sanry! Why are you giggling? Oh,
oh,
because Sanry's also the one that scared the shit out of me.
oh no.
Round accurate.
Åh,
No, you're
herregud.
good.
Okej då, det här kommer att vara lite intressant.
Okay, hold on. Let me figure out something. Make it easier for the both of us.
Okej då.
Tell me what yes is.
Yes in Swedish is ja.
Hey, you're breaking your code. You have to speak Swedish or speak fish for 5 minutes. What is yes?
Ja.
What is no?
Nej.
Y'all nil. Okay.
No. Nej.
All right. I'm not going to perfect this. I apologize.
Uh,
I'm plotting against them after plotting against us.
Tack så mycket för alla poäng, Osrik. Då ska jag prata Swahiro i 5 minuter. Hoppas
Oh,
ni
now they're also making you.
hoppas ni njuter av att jag pratar göteborgska.
Fine, you know what?
Göteborg. Pratar
That's
som att
fine.
jag kommer från Göteborg.
Let's just do our exercises. They're wasting their time. The fools.
Helvete, jag märkte inte ens att jag... fucking hell.
Two,
Så, ja
three,
fan, börjar med armhävningarna. Herregud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
10. There's your squats.
Fan, ja. Fan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Och det går vi.
We're doing fine and getting massively bullied as I'm trying to get D&D
Exakt.
by another person who bullied me into getting into a level 20 one-shot campaign.
Hallå Lorek. Jag pratar lite svenska här med brytning. Herregud.
Okay. So I added these 3.
Okay.
So since you can only, so all I know what yes and no is there anything else I need to add? Well, actually, I ended at cleansing touch. Wait. Oh, feature. That's okay. Those are just the extra ones. Okay.
Ja, exakt.
Is there anything else I need to add now?
Nej.
Okay, because yeah, I was gonna say I don't see any. I don't know what items she's giving us. I have no clue on that part.
Okay. Ja.
I don't think there's anything else.
Okej, bra.
I think I'm good. I think at this point I'll just yell at poison because the monster. Also, I didn't give myself time to also sit down and chat with her to kind of get this set up.
jag förstår. Det är så roligt att du inte förstår vad jag säger.
All right, now, Percy, as Senri is translating, please tell me exactly the story of Percy from the beginning. Let's go.
Percys berättelse. Stora frågan är, menar du original Percy eller VTuber Percy? För det finns en skillnad. Det finns lite skillnader där.
Are you purposely saying it really fast?
Nej, det är bara så jag pratar. Jag pratar... jag tror jag bara pratar väldigt snabbt.
Damn it, she's still understanding. Let's go V. Yeah, the 5 minutes is almost up. It's fine. My way of trying to bully failed. All right, Senri's doing good.
Yep,
Proud of her.
definitive. Uh,
Yeah, it's the reason why her symbol is on my choker.
yeah, definitive.
Yeah, see, Percy
Oh,
agrees. Choker. Shut it, Huffle.
uh,
Okay, I'll let you get to your D&D thing.
mm,
Like I said, I won't keep you up anymore. Holding you back on your thing. Thank
okay.
you for the help. Thank you
Ja,
for everything.
det var så lite så. Ha det bra.
All right, later.
Hejdå. Ah, där ja. Hoppas ni njut av mig hjälpa min kära vän Fai. Oh, and there's also 5 minutes. Hope you will enjoy me trying to speak Swedish there. Yeah, I hope so too. He's a noob. And he gets thrown into a level 20 one shot. Oh my god, that's a mess. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. But with that done, I think 100%. I think now might be a good idea to get to the first sort of planned thing I have for tonight, which is my theme builds. So I don't know actually how well these look on stream. Since it's just fucking text. Oof. Yeah, that's fair. I'm always happy to help. Again, I am quite knowledgeable when it comes to D&D, so I'm happy when I can use that knowledge for good. So I'm oh. Yeah, I'm happy to help where I can. But I do have a selection of my theme builds here. To just sort of go through and talk about. If you guys can't see too well, I will up the fucking text size. And alright, Osric, see you in a bit. Also, I fucking have to say, dropping both the fucking squats and the push-ups at the same time there is like, oh, fucking hell. So I'm a bit winded right now. So, I do apologize for any, like, me taking quite heavy breaths. But actually... Oh, wait, shit. If I want to actually change text size, I would need to go over to Google Drive on my other side here and up them. Oh, that's interesting. Anonymous Efreet. There we go. Uh, there we go. I upped the text size a little bit to make it a bit more, legible on stream. Because, I want you guys to be able to read this, too. But, also, if there's any questions while just preparing some stuff. Of course, I'm happy to always answer questions about D&D because I love talking about this hobby. I love this game. I can't shut up about it. I might be a little bit obsessed. Maybe more than a little bit. So let us begin with my theme builds. Now, I'm not... I am gonna leave some of these like, okay. Yes. I have a very addictive personality. I'm the kind of person who's very easily addicted, and which is why I should definitely stay away from any sort of drugs. Good thing I don't like alcohol. Now, well, you can see here inside which, at least the theme of each of the build. So the ones I have here for you today are Fencer, which is the first one, Loki, which is one I'm currently playing in another campaign, Witch, which is a newer one, Doctor Doom, based off of one of my favorite fictional villains, Red Mage, a newer one, or a newer update to an older build, because I had an old version. I don't fully remember what it was, but this is a newer updated version. Astrologian, which is one I will be playing in an upcoming game, which is going to be fun. Grey Knight, which I'm currently playing in another campaign on Wednesdays, and I can actually show you the character since I have him here in D&D Beyond. Also, by the way, all of these sort of backup characters. I have 27 character sheets in D&D Beyond. And I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them are characters I have either played or are going to play. But this is character using my Grey Knight build. It's a bit... some slight modifications to it, but... Sir Aurelius Wolf, my character I play on D&D on Wednesdays. I play this character. But I'll save that for when I get to the Grey Knight build. So, Fencer was sort of my first theme build. I wanted a character to fill, the swashbuckling swordsman, the master duelist. And in a way, this is kind of what I came up with. Also, by the way, this level split, 12-8, is one I use a lot. So it's one you're going to see a lot. Which is, I like it quite a bit. It's that sort of 12-8 or 12-8, you get the same amount of ability score increases you get from if you didn't multi-class. You get a lot of the good abilities. You get if you're playing a spellcaster, you get up to 6th level spells. If the 12 levels class is a full caster, you get access to most of the good abilities that fit for whatever build you're doing. So I'm not going to go full into detail for these builds because I do feel a lot of them can be heavily customized and modified in ways that whoever's using them would like. For example, this fencer. It's 12 level swashbuckler rogue and 8 levels battlemaster fighter. While I recommend the dueling or 2-weapon fighting fighting styles, if someone were to use this build, you don't have to use either of them. I mean, you can go defense, which is, like I said, defy. It's a solid one. Or the recommended battlemaster maneuvers. It's literally just, here's what I recommend. You don't have to use them for this build. It's just what I think would be good with it. Same also with feats. Mobile, just for that extra speed and allowing for hidden run tactics. Piercer or Slasher are both really good feats, and pick one and focus on like either a piercing or slashing weapon. I mean, my suggestion would either be scimitar or rapier. Though, again, hey, you play this how you want. Tough is always a good feat. Getting extra HP is always a good option. Then either defensive duelist or dual wielder. Depending on how you want to play this, do you want to dual wield like a pair of scimitars and do that sort of swashbuckler? Do you want to do a defensive duelist and just have a rapier? I think actually defensive duelist could work if you have a shield, so you could theoretically do rapier and shield and do defensive duelist. I could be wrong on that because it's been a while, but I mean I could look it up. I'm a bit of a dum-dum. Defeats. Defensive duelist. When you're wielding a finesse weapon with which you're proficient, and another creature hits you with a melee attack. Yep, so you could use a shield with this, which hey, some extra defense is always nice as well. But yeah, that's the way I imagine this build. It's very much a sneaky stealth, or not stealth, more high charisma, high dex, charismatic, dashing rogue. Maybe a bit of sorrow or Zorro. Sorry, I'm used to pronouncing it as Zorro. Again, sometimes it's very noticeable that I'm not natively English speaking. Now, next build. Obviously, I don't have much put out in here because most of the build concept is very vague. Again, this whole thing works by me having an idea and like, oh, how can I like meet this theme? How can I like work this into official rules? The official rules of D&D 5e. Again, Fencer, or the Master Duelist, whatever you want to call it. I saw Swashbuckler Rogue. That's perfect for this. Also, Swashbuckler Rogue is one of my favorite rogue subclasses. Sorry if I'm talking fast, I'm excited. I am the excited Percy. And then I looked into it and I saw Battlemaster had all these maneuvers, which are all these abilities that, to be fair, I think should not be limited to a subclass, as in a way it's kind of just like things that most people who are reasonably proficient with a weapon should know how to do, like riposte, which is literally just a counterattack to a parry. I'm not kidding. That's literally what a riposte is, which is why I don't think it should be a subclass unique ability, but I'm not going to go into that because that's a whole nother tangent, and okay, I'm glad to hear that. I don't want to annoy people. But so yeah, most of these are vague because I also want to say I'm not I'm not tested any of these builds, so I don't know how fun they would, or I'm not tested most of these builds, so I don't know how fun they would be to actually play. But again, this is just like, had a concept. How can I make this work? I would definitely love to try some of these out. Oh yeah, also another important tidbit for these. While some of these are very easy to do in, well, most of these are pretty easy to do in point buy because they either focus on like one or two ability scores, like swashbuckler, swashbuckler fighter. Yeah, Dex, Con, and Charisma. And Charisma is only like an extra little bit thing, I think. So you don't need to have it too high. It's mainly Dex, and then, I mean, Con is always good to have. Or, next one. Loki. The Loki build. Based off of Loki. Mainly a bit on the MCU version of Loki. Now, this one I'm actually playing right now in a campaign on Fridays with a couple of friends, Sendry included. Our friend Krell is also there, and Rotobella, another VTuber, a friend of ours, was also in it. And I mean, then there's also some other friends we have outside of VTubing, like Pingo, you've seen every now and then in either mine or Sendry's chats. Plays in this game, but in a way, this is also a build I've in a way tried before, but not really getting the full experience. So this is also, by the way, using two of my favorite classes in 10 levels Arcane Trickster Rogue. Oh yeah, or playing Pingo has also appeared on Center Stream sometimes, playing DBD with her. Thank you for that reminder, baby. But this is 10 levels Arcane Trickster Rogue and 10 levels School of Illusion Wizard. Now, while unfortunately with this build, you're only getting up to 5th level spells, and I actually need to, where is the rogue? There we go. Arcane Trickster, 10 second level spells on Arcane Trickster. You can still have a lot of fun because there's a lot of neat abilities you get from both of these classes. School of Illusion Wizard essentially allows you to make an attack against you automatically miss. If an attack hits you, you can just say, no, it did not, and just, oh, it was an illusion. You can do that once per day, I think. But that's a really cool ability, and one I quite like. Or Arcane Trickster has a very fun ability. Welcome back, Ostrich. I'm currently going through my theme builds. Uh, But yes, welcome back. So essentially, uh, essentially to go back a bit for what you missed, oof. Yes, my illusionist build, the Loki build. It's all about illusion and striking from, well, where people least expect it. Especially because Arcane Trickster Rogue has this very fun ability where if your opponent doesn't see you, they have disadvantage on saving throws against your spells. Uh, ah, Real No TV, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Royal Library. I am Percival Drake, keeper of the Royal Library, and the Kitsune Mage. I serve as court magician for a certain Kitsune Queen who is in chat at the moment. But thank you for the follow. I always appreciate it. But yeah, so, God. But one thing you missed, Osric, is these builds are very vague. I don't have too much things to really say about them. Some recommended spells here would be, of course, illusionist spells like Phantasmal Force, Invisibility, Mirror Image. I should have put down here. I forgot about that one. Mislead is one I really like because it turns you invisible and it creates an illusory double that you can control freely. Meaning, oh, you can pull off some Loki level shit there where, oh, they thought they hit you, but oh no, you're off invisible hiding in the corner. Now, I do have some recommended feats for every one of these. Some feats I would recommend for this one is Shadow Touch and Fate Touched, both because I really like these feats and they're, in my opinion, really good. Fate Touched, you get Misty Step and can cast it once per day for free, and then also normally with spell slots. And then a first level divination or enchantment spell, you can pick up something like Hex to deal extra damage. You can pick up Detect Magic, so you can cast that without needing spend a spell slot. Or oh, I'm glad you like it, Osric. Oh, by the way, just because I want to show off now, uh, and since I mentioned I am playing this a character using this build in camp a campaign, I do have some art for that character if you want to see, Osric. But yeah, Shadow Touched, Invisibility, plus a first level spell of either illusion or necromancy. Also, by the way, both Fate Touched and Shadow Touched. All right, here you go. The art of Lionel Blackwood. There's the second one. There you go. Both, but both Shadow Touch and Fate Touch give you a +1 to either Intelligence, Charisma, or Wisdom, and whatever you pick is also the spellcasting modifier. For yes, it is a Lionel Gideon Blackwood. I picked Observant because Observant is a pretty good feat. Bonus your passive perception, a +1 to I think either Int or Wisdom, but then also the fun little ability that you can read lips. It's a minor ability, but I like it. It's a fun little ability. And then actor, because if you're gonna be Loki, you gotta need to know how to act. Uh, yeah, it is heavily inspired by Loki's outfit from the comics, and with a bit of personal flavor. The this is the next build is a bit of a newer one, as this is my witch build. Uh, again, this is a newer one. I've yet to try it. I really want to because yeah, it's a fun feat, and I really like actor, and I mean as someone who also like rogues and sort of like misdirection, I really like actor. But now the witch build is the only build that I will say be careful if you're doing point buy because you're gonna need a lot of. You're splitting your ability scores very much because, of course, as a druid you'll need wisdom, as a wizard you'll need int, and dumping dex or con are both not that good ideas. So this is definitely more of a build if you're rolling for it. Rolling for ability scores. So it is 8 levels of druid, your choice of subclass. I've not really anything in particular in mind for this, though if I were to play it, I would do the wildfire druid because it's just my favorite druid subclass. I think it's really fun. I like the wildfire spirit, and it's actually one I've had a lot of fun with. And then 12 levels of School of Divination Wizard. As this is a more support heavy build, Divination Wizard is good for that, especially with the Portent ability, which is really, really good. Then there's also the fact that, yeah, exactly, a little bit of mad. But that is the only build here that suffers from mad. At least of the ones I have lined up for this. Uh, but yeah, I mean, the way I see witches, there is that sort of theme of divination, of scrying, and so I think divination wizard is fitting for it. I have a recommended background for this, which is hermit. I think. Well, it's the image of the old hag or crone, bass boosted Baba Yaga carriage for those people who gets that reference. And recommended feats for this are resilient and ping con. Now this is one that's always good. Like tough, this is one that's always good, especially for casters. Getting proficiency in Constitution saving throws is really, really good because you want to be able to keep concentration on those spells. Yes. Warcaster, it's something that's also pretty good as a full, or that's for someone that's heavy caster focus. And once again, Fate touched, Shadow touched. You could also maybe throw in telepathic or telekinetic if you want. I like those two as well. But that is the witch build. I really want to try this someday because I love. I don't know what it is, but I just I'm having a bit of a witch face, so to speak, right now, and I really want to play this at some point because I love this build. It's so fun, and it also helps that I really love druids. They're one of my it's one of my favorite classes. I love druids. They're so fun, and also I love wizards. So it's combination of two fun classes. But onward to the next build. Now, some of you might be familiar with what the character this is. I am, of course, referring to one of my favorite comic book villains, Dr. Victor Von Doom. The arrogant man who cured. uh, actually, what? Uh, yes. Now, this is another one I kind of want to try at some point because it would be fun. Be careful with this one, though, as if you really want to play Doom, you gotta be an arrogant asshole, and that can be really difficult to pull off right. Yes. So it is 5 levels of Armor Artificer. Specifically, at least in my mind, using the Infiltrator armor model. So you can do some ranged lightning attacks and not get disadvantage on stealth checks if you're wearing heavy armor. And then War Magic Wizard for that extra bit of defense, and also a bit of extra boost to your damaging spells. Unfortunately, with this, you don't get 9th level spells, but up to 8th level spells, and also getting extra attack, that's a good trade off. Plus, heavy armor proficiency, so you don't have to bother with things like mage armor. Also, starting as an artificer is also pretty good for this, since you get proficiency in constitution saving throws. Of course, if you're gonna be Doctor Doom, you're gonna need to have the noble background. And most of these are the same as previous ones. Warcaster, Shadow Touched, Fate Touched. Keen Mind, it's another one that's like, it has some neat things to it, and it's more of a flavor thing. Player's Handbook. Feats. Also, inspiring leaders here, which is another inspiring recommended feat. Because, hey, you want to give a 10-minute speech to inspire your companions? I do find it fucking hilarious that it says 10 minutes. Also, if there's any fucking DMs watching this, don't make your players actually give a 10-minute speech. And welcome in. Or hi there, Poke Niner. Welcome, welcome. Just talking some D&D here, and well, I'm not going too many weird tangents yet, but the stream is far from over. And yeah, exactly. Like, if a player wants to give like a bit of a longer speech, fine, but don't make them spend 10 actual minutes on a fucking speech. Because, oh. But then we have Keen Mind. You get a +1 to your int. You always know which way. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset. You can accurately recall anything you've seen or heard within the past month. Not too much homebrew. I will be taking a look, or I will be going over a specific homebrew later, and that's a homebrew subclass I made like last year. I'm trying to. I think it was last year. Need to. It was around a year ago, I think, because it was. There's an easy way to check this because it was around the time. Oh god, helps if I. Helps if I can fucking spell. Yeah, it was about a year ago. 2021. Yeah, like 2021. But yep, all that come together for my Doctor Doom theme build. Essentially, what I'm doing at the moment, Pokeniner, since you just came in, I'm currently going over theme builds, which is something I enjoy doing. Like, I have an idea for a theme I want to build in D&D, and like, okay, how can I do this? And I try to come up with something. And I just went over a Doctor Doom theme build. Now the next two is some that my friends here who enjoys Final Fantasy 14 might quite like, as the next one on the list is the Red Mage. I mean, it's. I will say this: I am not qualified enough to judge Homebrew. Like, I am. I'm not good with balance. I've like my Homebrew Rogue subclass. I've run that by a friend. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? And I do need to run it by more people because I want more people's opinions on on it. And I mean, hopefully, I can get some more opinions on it tonight. I mean, I wouldn't be against doing it for like a future stream, but maybe not tonight. But yes, the next build is the Red Mage for my Final Fantasy friends. Now, to start this off, you have to ask a question. What is a Red Mage? Combat, casting, and both of offensive spells and healing, in my mind. So, with that in mind, I thought, okay, how can we do that? Again, I had another version of this that I think was like a College of Swords Bard, multiclassed with Divine Soul Sorcerer. I don't remember the exact details of it, but yeah. But here's a new version I thought up a couple of weeks ago, actually. Now, this is the only one where outside of the classes has a very important other detail. And this is also the point where I'm gonna say it not every DM is gonna allow this. Because this involves an option from a very specific setting, and it's very heavily tied to that setting, and that is the Witherbloom student background. Because if we look at, if I pull it up here on D&D Beyond, because I do own this, and I can also show the importance of this here, Witherbloom student, of why it is so important to this build. So, first of all, you get, if you're a spellcasting class, you get these spells added to your spell list. So spells like Cure Wounds, Lesser Restoration, Revivify, Death Ward, and Greater Restoration, giving you the option of healing even though you are not playing any classes that normally would get healing. Then, of course, you also get the Strixhaven Initiate feat, but you have to pick Witherbloom, which lets you choose first two cantrips from Chill Touch, Druidcraft, and Spare the Dying, and then choose one first level Druid or Wizard spell, where you can pick up Healing Word for another good healing option. And I think, and that is in this build where the healing comes in, the healing aspect of a red mage. Of course, again, since Witherbloom student is heavily tied to a specific setting and a very specific, you know, thing, not every DM is going to allow this. And I mean, if I were to try and bring this into a campaign, I would of course ask the DM, hey, can I pick this? But, of course, like change it, reflavor it to better fit the setting. Yeah, and I mean, it's like my character for you know, what I'm gonna be. Yeah, we just had this talk. My astral elf. It's very much. I'm willing to reflavor things and work with you to find a solution to make this fit in because I want to try it, but I also want to make sure I come in. I'm coming into this with a character that fits the setting, and that's something I want to work with a DM for. So I'm not coming in with something that doesn't fit with the lore because as someone who is both of an amateur writer and has DM'd in the past, I understand the value of consistency. I understand the value of lore. Well, I'm happy to be able to, my friend. I am looking forward to that character, and also always keeping check to see if I get an update on the art. Because that is going to be fun, and I have a very fun little detailed plan for it. But yeah, so this is the one where it's like, yeah, you're gonna want to check with your DM first if you're gonna try and bring this up, because again, I know some people are a bit stricter about these sort of things, and again, always be willing to maybe, well, not homebrew, but reflavor things to better fit the setting. But outside of that, 12 levels Bladesinger Wizard and 8 levels Eldritch Knight Fighter gives you up to 6th level spells from the Wizard spell list. And pretty decent amount of spell slots as well, while also giving you plenty of good combat ability. Now, I recommended fighting styles either defense or dueling. I think dual wielding for this would not be a good idea. I think dueling would be better. Especially since then you can have like maybe a sword in one hand and then like your arcane focus in the other. Now, there is a very important reason why I wanted Bladesinger for this. Exactly. Now, where is it? Blade singing. Now, first of all, just all of this, where the blade song is a really good ability, especially if you want to build towards a melee fight or melee combat dex build. But it's this extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Attack action on your turn. Moreover, you can cast one of your cantrips in place of one of those attacks, which allows for greater options when it comes to spell casting in combat. You could attack someone with your melee weapon and then cast a firebolt on another target, or do a booming blade and then attack normally. This is an incredible ability for this sort of build, which is why I was like, yes, I want to make Blade Singer. Plus, the way I see the red mages in Final Fantasy 14 especially, they do feel a lot like Dex build, since they wield rapiers and don't use too much armor. But or maybe that's just me. Yeah. Red Mage is one of my favorite classes or favorite jobs in Final Fantasy 14, and yeah, exactly. And then of course, tough, resilient, warcaster are all three really good feats for this build, both to keep you standing and also to help you cast your spells, keep your spells up. Fate Touch for a bit of extra spells. I should have added that here as well, but maybe Slasher or Piercer would also be good here with the melee focus damage. And yeah, I saw Red Mage and just I need to make this because this is another one where I really want to try this at some point because I love Red Mage. I like the idea of okay, cool. I can cast a spell to do damage. I can stab someone or I can heal someone. I have all these options. I'm probably worse at it than someone who's specifically focused on one of those things, but hey, if I do remember correctly, the saying does fully go. A jack of all trades, master of none, is still better than a master of one. Having variety is always a good thing. Of course, sometimes you want the focus, because sometimes the focus can be very useful. But next build is another Final Fantasy one, and one I'll be trying out in an upcoming campaign, which will be streamed. And that is the Astrologian, which is a fun little support caster and healer with 8 levels of College of Spirits Bard and 12 levels of Divine Sorcerer at max. This build is all about support. It's heals, it's buffing and debuffing, and then maybe throwing in a bit of damage every now and then. It is all about, again, just doing what you can to just keep your friends up and keep them doing what they do best, and then screw over your enemies as much as you can. Also, College of Spirits because it essentially lets you use a tarot deck for your spellcasting focus, which I love the concept of. Now, obviously, here's just a list of some recommended meta magic, just ones I mainly like because Transmuted Spell, Twin Spell, Quicken Spell, Subtle Spell. Yeah, kind of in a way. She's an astrologian without the flavor of it. Uh, I think the Lucky Feat would be really fitting here because you can also use those rerolls on other people, both friends and enemies. Now, of course, Fate Touch. I'm gonna throw Fate Touched and Fate Touched and maybe Shadow Touched on like all casters I play because I love Fate Touched. It is a really good feat. And Resilient is also a really solid feat. Again, especially if you're playing a caster, but it can be good other. Oh god. I imagine there's a story there, Osric. But yeah, you gotta be careful about those Fae. Looks at Lionel and Dahlia. uh, yeah, con, resilient, getting proficiency in con saves, always a solid option. And a +1 to con. Really good. Now, the next build is something for the Warhammer fans. Of course, I know Osric is a bit of a Warhammer fan, and so if we got any other Warhammer fans in here, do speak up, my friends. Or I do know we also have another at least one more. For the next build on the list is the Grey Knight. So, in Warhammer 40k, Grey Knights are sort of specially made space marines that are all psychers and they specifically fight demons. And this is another build I'm actually playing in the campaign right now, as I showed off earlier. And my characters here. I have a lot of characters here on D&D Beyond. Yes, she is a cinema roll. You might notice that a lot of these are high elves or half elves, because I love half elf and high elf. But here we go. This is Sir Aurelius Wolf, my character who's using the Grey Knight build. We're currently level 12 in this campaign, so it's 4 levels Oath of Conquest Paladin and 8 levels Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. And for feats, I have Telekinetic Infernal Constitution, which is a feat I always like to pick up on Tieflings, because it's fun to get more damage resistances. And Fate Touched, of course. And I forgot to change this, but I mixed up the protection and the defense fighting styles when I was writing this, which is why it says protection here while it should say defense, because defense is again always a solid choice for fighting style. Getting a +1 to AC is always a good choice. And of course, these recommended meta magics again, always mainly because yes, these are just what I like. And then feats: telekinetic, fate touched, tough, slasher, warcaster. I'm gonna pick up tough at some point for this character because getting extra 8 points again always good. And gonna try to bump his strength as well next ASI, but that's far off. Gonna need 4 more levels. Just got one. Again, telekinetic. I like this feat. I think it's fun for this, which is why I picked it for Aurelius. Fate touched. Again, I keep on using this feat because I like it. Tough. Again, solid choice. Slasher, bludgeoner, piercer. At least in my opinion, these are always a good choice if you're making some sort of melee fighter. And warcaster. Hey, helps keeping your spells up. Helps with some fun things you can do more now with the attacks of opportunity, and you could use a sword and shield and still cast your spells. But yeah, this build is all about move in, hit hard, move fast, which is why something I do a lot is use of God, where I said haste. So I can so I can run in, hit hard, get a bit of a bonus to my defense, move around quickly, and also with this most recent level up, I got Fate Touch, so I can teleport around now. But and then finally, this is also a bit of a newer one. A Plague Doctor build. I kind of played a Plague Doctor-esque character a while back in my Fire Genasi Necromancer Lucian. Though he was a bit more of a mad scientist, sort of Plague Doctor, but mainly sort of like a mad scientist vibe. But yes, Alchemist Artificer for some healing. Again, I think you can also slot in the Witherbloom student maybe here as well for also more healing options. Again, if you like. I went with more some more supportive feats here, like Poisoner, Healer, and Chef. More feats that can be done. Some feats that can be used in downtime. I like the Chef feat. I like, especially someone who likes cooking in real life. Being able to have in character just, yes, I'm gonna cook up this feast, and you're all gonna get a bonus from it. I like that. And then Poisoner, well, bit of a buff to poison damage is always nice, and being able to use this specific poison is pretty fun. And Healer, some extra healing. Makes sense for like a sort of doctor build. Yes, he needed some fucking hugs. But that is all of my theme builds that I was planning on going through today. Does anyone have any questions about them? Or, I mean, obviously, if anyone has any questions. Because, actually, it can actually show off Lucian, unfortunately. It's been a while since we played that campaign. Here we go, Dr. Lucian Bright. We left off, we were level 7. So I picked Also, by the way, this is just... We rolled for stats, and I legit rolled these stats. It was amazing. He doesn't need strength or charisma. But having... Oh, no. Shit. Uh... Ha. Okay, I hope you all can still hear me. Alright, good. Yeah, I think the display capture is... I mean, on my side, things are all looking a little bit fucked. I am gonna need to do this. Oh, cool. Yeah, everything is fucked on my side, so... But I can still... Uh, yep. Sorry about this, some technical difficulties. Uh, I think I would actually need to restart OBS to actually get all this to work. Okay, I hope this doesn't end stream, but... Yep, I would need to turn OBS off. That's annoying. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened. Something just fucking died. But... I mean, at least you guys can hear me, and... Oh, actually, I can do this because... Haha! Thankfully, it looks like everything is still shown properly. Yeah. So, again, if anyone has any questions or something, I do think it's time to move on to the next planned thing for tonight, which is my homebrew rogue subclass, the Monster Hunter. Now, this was inspired by The Witcher. Specifically, I had the idea for this subclass after having watched The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf, the animated movie. So, just had an idea, and here we are. Oh, thank God. Oh, sorry. Lost. And, sorry, everyone. So, let's go over this subclass, and of course, I don't know if I have any experience, or I know I have at least one experienced GM here with us tonight for 5e, and I'm always happy hearing input on this because I've showed one friend this and he thought it looked good, but you know, it's always good to get multiple opinions on something like this, and I want to make this as good as possible, you know? So, the first ability, or well, let's start with some of the lore for the Monster Hunter. Oh. Of course. There we go. Yes, I'm using a laptop. The Monster Hunter. The Order of Argast was founded by elves in ancient times to protect the burgeoning civilization from the monsters and beasts of the frontier. The ancient elves would fervently study the monsters and mix that knowledge in combat with their natural agility and skill for magic. It's even said the Argast, through their secret training and teachings, even unlocked a way to replicate a limited amount of divine magic. As the elves have kept the secrets of the Argast to themselves, as the need for the order dwindled, most of this order you'll meet today are either elf or half elf. But while rare, some other races have been allowed to learn the ways of the Argast, but those have been few and far between. So that is a bit of the lore I came up with for this order of monster hunters. Actually, since this will become relevant to a future ability, Arcane Trickster. Ah, there we go. So let's start with the first ability, Hunter's Lore. At third level, when you pick this archetype, you gain proficiency in the Arcana skill and your choice of either religion or nature to represent your study of magic and the creatures of the world. You also have advantage on Arcana, religion, and nature checks to recall lore about monsters and to identify monsters' strengths and weaknesses. You can also, as an action, quickly study a target to identify weak spots. Make an Arcana check, make an Arcana, religion, or nature check as appropriate to the target. Contested by a stealth check. If you succeed on this check, then for the next minute, you gain the benefit of sneak attack against the target without needing advantage or an ally within 5 feet. You still lose it if you have disadvantage. This study ability doesn't work against humanoids or constructs. I know, I'm sorry if I went too fast there, everyone. Again, this whole thing is supposed to represent your studying as part of this order that's specialized in using their knowledge of monsters to their advantage in fighting them. And the way I imagine that sort of study ability, again, using Arcana, religion, or nature, it, it's actually what I used as an inspiration for this. And the way I had this in my mind is, again, Arcana, religion, nature is essentially you're trying to figure out, like, you're trying to remember, okay, this weak spot should be here or here, while the stealth check could be like the monster is sort of trying to hide their weak spots. So you have a hard time finding them. And also, again, advanced Arcana, religion, and nature checks to recall lore about monsters or identifying their strengths and weaknesses. Again, it's the whole thing of like, you have studied so you would know this, and that. So I wanted to give them something to make it easier for them to remember this lore. And but with that, we get into the next ability, which is spellcasting. They're a third caster, just like the Arcane Trickster, and I specifically mention here that, yeah, you use the Arcane Trickster's table to see how many spells and cantrips you have and spell slots. I didn't limit them to a school of magic, because with the lore I had in mind, would be difficult, but you know, 3 first level spells of your choice, two, two of which you must choose from the spells on the wizard spell list. The third one is your choice between either Arcane Weapon or Divine Favor. This is an ability, or since I want to make sure you guys see this. So Arcane Weapon, for those, well, first of all, Arcane Weapon or Divine Favor, I want this to sort of be, okay, you're fighting monsters, so you have a spell that you can quickly enchant your weapon to deal a bit extra damage. Now, Divine Favor is a cleric and paladin spell. And the arcane weapon, I actually have it in this document later down, was a Unearth Arcana spell for Artificer that never made it to publish, which I think is a bit of a shame because it was a really cool spell. And yeah, it gains spells like an Arcane Trickster. But the spells you learn at 80 or at 8th, 14th, and 20th level must come from the Cleric spell list. And here we have those aspects of okay, their special training allows you to have a few limited spells that you've sort of replicated through these secret methods of divine magic. And that's sort of where that comes in. And it uses your intelligence for spell casting. That is 3rd level. Then you don't get an ability until... Yep. Here at the 9th level you get 2 abilities. One of which is Hunter's Smite. At 9th level, when you hit with your sneak attack, you can make the sneak attack deal your choice of either fire, lightning, cold, thunder, force, or radiant damage. I know normally sneak attack is supposed to be, oh, it's just the damage of the weapon. But I had this thought of, okay, but what if, like, this order used some sort of magic to... Okay, their sneak attack can just be like this burst of magic from their weapon. And I also thought this was also a bit of an interesting twist on their changing damage type because they're hunting monsters and specializes in hunting these creatures. Yeah, they can change the damage of it to fit what they're fighting. And then Argost's multi-attack, which is it's kind of like a bit more limited version of the Eldritch Knight feature, War Magic. I think it's called. The fighter. Eldritch Knight. It is. Yeah, War Magic. At 7th level, when you use your action to cast a cantrip, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. Here, when you cast a cantrip as an action, you can then proceed to make a weapon attack with a finesse melee weapon or a ranged weapon as a bonus action. It's essentially that, but I wanted it to fit a bit more to work with the whole thing of, the finesse aspect of Rogue, or to be more heavily focused on that. Though to be fair, not a lot of rogues are going to be using a non-finesse weapon or a not when it comes to melee weapons or so. Yeah, essentially, but that's essentially the idea here. Then at the 13th level, we get what I think is one of the more extensive abilities I made for this, which is Secretive Alchemy. At 13th level, you unlocked the you have unlocked the secret alchemical techniques of the Argast. You gain proficiency with alchemy tools, and as part of a long rest, you can create a set of special tinctures. Due to the nature of these potions, they can only be utilized by the person whose magic was used to create them. If anyone else tries to consume these potions, they take 2d12 poison damage and gain the poison condition for an hour. At 13th level, you can create 3 of these potions, and this increases to 4 at 17th level. Consuming one of these potions is a bonus action. You can only have one of these potions active at once, and if you drink another during the duration, you take 2d12 poison damage, and the effect is replaced by the new one. The concoctions you can make are as follows, and I made this a list of different kinds of potions. There's Monkey's Paw. For the duration, you gain a climbing speed equal to your normal movement speed. Lasts for 10 minutes. Dragon's Blood. When you drink this, pick a dragon type. You gain +1 to your armor class and gain resistance to the associated damage type as dragon scales grow over your body. Lasts for 1 minute. Wolf Sense. This potion empowers your sense of smell and hearing, giving you advantage on perception checks based on hearing and smelling, and also on survival checks to track a target if you know their scent. Lasts for 10 minutes. Bat. You gain the ability to use echolocation, giving you blind sight out to 30 feet. Lasts for 10 minutes. Amphibian. You gain a swim speed equal to your movement speed, and gain the ability to breathe underwater. Lasts for 10 minutes. Feline Speed. Your movement speed increases by 20 feet. Lasts for 1 minute. Cat's Eye. Your eyes turn cat-like, and you get dark vision out to 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, it increases by 30 feet. Lasts for 10 minutes. Viper's Guard. For the duration, you gain resistance against poison damage and have advantage on Constitution saving throws against the poison condition. Lasts for 1 minute. And finally, Mole. For the duration, you gain Tremor Sense out to 30 feet. Lasts for 10 minutes. So, essentially what I wanted with these was a good mix of combat and utility potions. And I wanted these utility potions, something that you use more out of combat, to last for a bit longer. As yeah, a minute can be long in combat, but out of combat, 1 minute isn't that long. And it's just, oh yeah, you're tracking this creature. Okay, but this potion only lasts for 1 minute, so yeah, 1 minute after starting to track. Okay, my senses go back to normal, and I can't track them anymore as good. Uh, so because originally all of them was 1 minute, but I changed it so it varies depending on type. But here, I feel like Secretive Alchemy is definitely where the Witcher inspiration is the strongest. Also, I'm glad you like the flavor of Hunter's Smite again, sorry. But yeah, I feel like here is the biggest inspiration from The Witcher in just all of these potions. And because yeah, a big thing about Witchers is they are prepared. They drink potions that has different effects depending on what they're fighting. Like there's Black Blood if you're fighting vampires, or God, all these other potions with different effects that essentially are really useful and are really good, prepared for. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling a bit, but you get what I'm saying. It's all about using potions that have different effects. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not just rambling. It's the whole thing of preparing and having all these other things that you use to help with the. And then we get to the final ability of this subclass. I'm gonna be honest, I had a hard time figuring out what would be the last ability of the subclass, because 17th level, it's gotta be good, because I mean, everyone knows that balance beyond 10th level is fucky. So this is actually something my friend I showed this to. Mine and Sandrick's friends. Mine and Sandrick's friend John, who runs some games for us and we play D&D with regularly. He was actually he's the one who suggested this and helped me make it to some extent. Coup de grace. You have become a master of exploiting the weak points of monsters. At 17th level, as an action, you can mark an enemy that's under the effect of your study ability and cause the next attack you make against the target to deal double damage. You can only use this once per short or long rest. I was thinking changing it maybe to long rest. Exactly. It's the whole thing of like, it takes a bit of setup because you use your action for it, so you kind of have to. Aw. Oof. Well, then we will wait for you to come back from Ad Hell. And I will actually take a shit. Just check real quick. Any updates here? Not yet. Alright, alright, alright. Da, da. Gotta forgot what I'm checking. uh, actually, since I can do that and oh god. But God, where was I now? Actually, I need to jump back over here so I can see what you guys are seeing. Because again, welcome back from Ad Hell, Osric. But yeah, essentially the idea I had for this, or the idea behind this ability is, okay, you know how to utilize a monster's weak points to the fullest. And again, it does take some setup because you do need to. Wait, isn't? I need to double check since. The yeah, it's an action to study to activate the study ability, and then there's an action to set up coup de grace. So you need to at least do 2 turns before you can unleash this attack. Yes, hydration is very important, Fi-Fi. I will actually hydrate, thank you. Yeah, it's the whole thing of, again, you're a monster hunter specialized in targeting the weakness of the monsters. So, that is my Witcher-inspired Monster Hunter subclass for Rogue. Now, there are 2 more things here in this document of note, which are, if I can scroll up so both can be seen. Yep. Or, yeah, it's a bit much, but The idea is also that you're probably not gonna do like those immediately after each other. Like you're not gonna go into you're not gonna start the study and then immediately next turn do the coup de grace immediately. It's meant more like, okay, I might do a few turns of just attacking before eventually. Like again, it's the coup de grace. It's meant like, okay, cool. Now it's a good point for me to try and go for the killing blow. But so exactly, you're waiting for the perfect moment, and like when you use that action, it's you're lining it up. You're seeing the weak point. You're preparing, and then on your next turn, you charge forward and strike. And I mean, depending on the situation, you can deal a lot of damage there. But I have two last things on this document, which is, first of all, the weapon of the Argos, because one thing I love doing is homebrew just normal weapons. Because I think the armory in, or the weapon options in D&D are a little sparse at times. So I just like, okay, cool. Here I can get in this weapon. Here I can make this weapon. I can make this weapon like this. uh, which I think is fun, especially as someone who is a bit of a sword nerd. So I made. Ah, yes. First we have Argos, Weapon of the Argos, which is what I called Elven True Blade. It's a short longsword, still having the versatile trait, but it also has finesse, dealing a bit less damage. It's a bit smaller, but and lighter. Mainly just my excuse to get a finesse longsword. But yes, and here it is, arcane weapon. Oh, you mean Hunter's Smite? Oh, oh, fair. I like that too. I think it was a really fun thing to have that in between, like in between normal weapons and then magic weapons. I like that too, especially as well because, yes, this person is a master swordsmith, so he can make weapons that are better than other swordsmiths. So I 100% agree. I miss it too. Uh, yeah, again, Arcane Weapon was featured in, I think it was like the last Unearthed Arcana for Artificer before it got properly published. And I am a bit sad that this never got properly published in 5e. And I mean, that's fair, dude. Again, I agree, it's a really good concept to have that in between point between just your average sword and then a magical sword. Because, I mean, I feel like having just that no in between makes some lower level magic items, or specifically lower level magical weapons, feel a bit meh. Like, for example, just a +1 longsword, where it's just like, this is alright, I guess. It's kind of boring. Yeah, no, unfortunately not. which is a bit sad because it could be really interesting to again. I mean, technically, I think you could make it work, but you would need to overhaul and homebrew a lot to make it work. But I mean, honestly, I think perfect D&D can be found somewhere between 3.5, maybe a bit Pathfinder First Edition, and D&D 5e. I think if you look at all of these and then found a way, I think somewhere between those three you could make D&D great, even better. You could make it the best version of D&D. Somewhere, again, somewhere between those three. Yeah, because I mean, I've not really played 3.5. I played Pathfinder 1e, but and it's the whole thing of like I like there are so many things here I love, but there's also things I think 5e does better. And again, I think 100%. I think that was something earlier editions did really well, and I think is a bit of like the downside of 5e being so simplified is like with weapons we're losing out on a lot of uniqueness. We're missing out on a lot of diversity in the weapons department because uh, the way 5e does it, it's hard to like sort of shove other things in. I mean, it can be done, but it's hard to make it feel unique. Uh, yeah, it's so yeah. I think. I mean, I feel I wish this is kind of what like Wizards of the Coast would do. I wish they would take a look at Pathfinder and 3.5 and just okay, this is what works here. This is the good aspects of this system, and here's what we can sort of port over and mix with 5e. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with that. I feel like the streamlining does have its yeah, it's downsides. Like I love how customizable each class is in Pathfinder. Like, okay, cool. You're level 1. Here, pick an ability between these like 10 for this one ability. If you're playing a spellcaster, pick your spells, pick a starting feat, pick all these things. Pick out your skills and assign skill points. It's there's a lot of customizability and that went lost, and I find that a bit sad. I mean, then there's also the fact that since the release of D&D 5e in 2014, we've only gotten one additional class. I like the Artificer, and I have my favorite classes that I enjoy playing, and I like playing. But as shown with my theme builds sometimes, theme builds sometimes, certain themes, certain things could easily be a class. Could just be class on their own. But no, like, if I want to play a witch, I have to go out of my way and make a build that's multi-class between two very different caster classes. Go a bit mad. Yeah, it's annoying. And I mean, I've seen some pretty good homebrew witch classes. But I think the problem is when it comes to additional classes, they did Artificer, Unearth Arcana, and they did the Mystic. And I think the Mystic was a sorry. I liked the Mystic, or I liked it in concept. I love psionics. I love psychic powers. Now, again, on paper, I love the concept of the Mystic. And fair. I've never had someone I've actually never met someone who has tried it. And that actually brings up something I told my friend John, and who again helped me with a bit with the Monster Hunter. I kind of want to try the Mystic at some point because it's one thing to look at something and go, okay, this is overpowered. But it it's another thing to, actually try it. Because if you actually try it, you might be able to tell, okay, then maybe this isn't as overpowered as people think. Maybe this ability isn't as bad as people think this in practice, But of course, again, I do 100% agree. Just looking at it, it looks really fucking bad. Oh, 100%. But yeah, I think the problem is they did art, uh, Artificer and then Mystic as Unearth Arcana classes. They got some positive critique on Artificers that moved on, and then the Mystic was just like everyone, oh no, it's so overpowered. So they dropped that, and they've sort of been scared to do any new class since, which is a bit sad because, again, I like a lot of these classes, but sometimes you just want to try something new. Variety is the spice of life. And so I find, especially since there's a lot of concepts that could be done as individual classes that hasn't been done as just subclasses. Like, again, a witch. A more like, yeah, I do agree with that. I had that feeling too, even though, what I like the options, even though, again, like Pathfinder has way too many options at some points, but nevertheless, I like having, a variety of options when it comes to classes. And also, by the way, I am sad that prestige classes didn't make it into 5e. Because that's another thing I love the concept of. Just being able to, okay, I've met these prerequisites. Let me take like these 10 levels in this really cool, kind of powerful class that's has to just which is justify being this powerful because it took me all this fucking work to get here. And I mean, there was like one Unearthed Arcana for it, like back in 2014, but unfortunately it was quickly dropped. Again, it's sad because let me actually pull up. There we go. Yeah, you can see it. This sort of website where it's a bunch of Pathfinder, by the way. When you go into prestige classes, here is a list of all the prestige classes in Pathfinder First Edition. Of course, some of these are third party, but all of these different things you could be if you met certain prerequisites. And again, I I really enjoyed that as part of Pathfinder. And again, I think it's sad I never brought it to 1e or 5e because it's another thing that adds some, variety, especially to certain builds. Because you can just, okay, cool, here is because you need to build two specific things. Like if you want to be an arcane trickster, you're going to have to specifically build into that to actually get to the point where you can finally get arcane trickster instead of, I mean, again, I like arcane trickster in 5e, but again, it's just uh again, I'm going off on tangents, but what I'm getting at, I really like the prestige classes again, and there's a lot of cool ones as well. And the fact that it never came to 5e is sad. And uh, oh, exactly. And the fact you have to make your way working towards getting them makes it more rewarding in my eyes. Yeah, it's sad. Like, I mean, again, I love 5e. I started playing D&D in 5e almost 5 years ago, which feels weird to say. I've been playing D&D for 5 years. And aw, nice. And I mean, that's something about that as well. I really like is it can be incorporated into like the character's development, into the story of the campaign because of the nature of these prestige classes. And it and that's another thing that you know kind of annoys me about this is the missed story opportunity that these can bring. Oh, yeah, it's sad. Ooh, that sounds like a really interesting character, and also a really interesting story for a character. Hmm. God, I've made like some builds for Pathfinder. Yeah, I've only played one campaign of Pathfinder First Edition, and it was fun. I'm gonna be playing some Pathfinder Second Edition. Ah, of course, learning how to dance. Hmm. I almost wanted to make like a Footloose joke there. But yeah, I mean, me and Senri and some other fun friends of ours are gonna be playing a campaign of Pathfinder Second Edition, and ah, uh, was this rogue Kevin Bacon? But yeah, but but I do think since it is getting a bit late, and I feel like I've rambled on a bit too long here. Oh yes, yeah, a little after midnight, and I mean, making more bacon like if you ever get the chance to play that character again. But yes, it is getting a bit late, and again, I feel like I've rambled on a bit too long here, so I am going to move over to the just chatting screen. But of course, on my side, in OBS, I actually don't see this. I'm glad you liked it, Ostrich. I do hope everyone watching enjoyed it. I had fun just rambling about D&D. Again, this is my favorite hobby. I love it so much. I've had a lot of fun with it over the years. I mean, I met Senri through it, and I've met a lot of wonderful friends through it. But so I love. It's just something I love talking about. But I think I know who I'm gonna raid. I will be sending you all over to my bro Fi, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with some secretive VTuber prom stream with Senri. I don't know what she has planned. It's something planned. I don't know what. So it's a surprise for me. I look forward to seeing it. But so that's be back tomorrow, starting at the same time as this stream starts, around 9 my time. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming out to the stream. I should probably. There we go. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming out to the stream. Again, I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.